everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems, and certainly want to welcome you here this afternoon. I'd like to bring Patrick on in. So, Patrick, if you can show your video there, it'd be great. And what a great topic we have today.
Yeah, this is going to be good because I think people are wondering not only what does it take to be successful in this business, but we're even going to touch on kind of the negative aspect of it, the other side of the coin, and that is why people fail in the business as well. So yeah. I think this will be interesting. Eric, you've already told them that they can ask questions, so we kind of monitor the questions as we go along here, folks, and take those as they come in. So let's get started here. You can do that right there. I think there's a little image there on the screen showing you where you can type in the questions on your GoToWebinar control panel over there. Just use the question box there, and we'll monitor those as we go along. So, Eric, you're the one that kind of suggested that we talk about why people fail in starting the business because, to be honest, people ask that question a lot, don't they?
They do. And again, as you and I were talking about this, we were talking about basically, we're going to be talking about the success of people. But with that, we all know that everybody's going to be asking, well, what about those people, Patrick, that fail? And I think you're going to be bringing up a licensee that was kind of struggling getting their first client. But let's just briefly talk about a few of the things of why people just don't make it, not only in this business, but really in any business.
All right, so the first thing is that they have no system. Now, what we mean by that, folks, and the reason we call our company American Business Systems is because you have to have a turnkey system to run a business successfully. That's why franchises are so successful. Lots of franchises out there. You can open a Subway sandwich shop for only about $75,000 plus the building and other expenses there, say $100,000, and you can make $40,000, $50,000 a year running a sandwich shop, working with teenagers who can't even clean their rooms 80 hours a week. So it just depends on what you want to get into, but at least they have a system, right? They know that every time they build a sandwich, it's based on a system. So we have a system, don't we, Eric?
We do, and you've got them coming in here just basically one at a time. We've got different systems here for marketing, for the support. I'm just going to kind of go down the list here. Marketing support. We have all the contracts, folks. Whenever you need to go in and get the billing done and the billing contracts done. The training, like I said, we just ended up with a week worth of training. That top one up over there, that one may be a little interesting for folks. What we do, Patrick, and you know this as well as I do, we're actually helping our licensees get their first clients and their second and third by us doing the demonstrations of the system. And what we do differently, I think, Patrick, with our demos than any other software company that does with their demos, is that we show the doctors how we're capturing their lost revenue. So we're not just showing the system of how all the bells and whistles of it. We're literally showing them how we're able to collect that money, which is, again, one of the big things of getting that doctor. The tools, the proposals, and then the ongoing coaching. And I think what people don't understand so far, that I think we'll learn about you today, is how much you personally coach a lot of licensees.
Yeah, so if somebody doesn't have the right system in place, if they just try to go out maybe and buy a book on the internet or take a course on medical coding or billing and try to start their own business, sometimes that doesn't work. They fail at it because they haven't got the right system in place. But there's also sometimes people start businesses and they don't have a market for it. We happen to have a great market for it. You found this quote here, I think, didn't you, Eric, on blackbookrankings.com? It's kind of tiny down there, but that's where we got that. Yep.
Matter of fact, folks, Patrick and I have done basically an entire webinar on the information from Black Book Rankings. Now, this is a third-party marketing survey company, and Patrick, I mean, their latest survey shows that 42% of physicians that are in a practice, and what it means, they're 1 to 5 doctors. So we're talking about a 1 to 5 doctor practice. So 42% of that group are looking to outsource their billing in the next 12 months. That's almost 50% of all practices out there are going to outsource their billing in the next 12 months. Patrick, why in the world would a doctor even want to outsource their billing in the first place?
I have no idea. Oh, no, I'm supposed to know that, aren't I?
You
Well,
are.
obviously they can do it themselves, and some of them do. They have their own software, they have their own staff inside internally that does all that. They do that because they think that it's going to be cheaper to do it themselves. It's
Right.
not, obviously. We can show that in black and white. I mean, the bottom line is they can cut their costs by 50% sometimes. But the real key there is they're not using probably the technology that we have that can help them to collect more of their money. See, when they bill the insurance companies, they just hope and dream, then pray that some of that money will come in, a certain percentage of it, and they don't really know how much of it is coming in percentage wise because they don't have the right technology to track that. We do, and so our licensees can tell them exactly what kind of revenue they're actually getting.
Patrick, I just got to say this. I heard from a doctor this last week who is literally keeping up their accounts receivables. Are you ready for this? Still on an Excel spreadsheet.
That is incomprehensible to me. But maybe he just doesn't know the tools that are available out there that will allow them to do that. But the point is, guys, we have a huge market that's just waiting for us out there. Talk about a window of opportunity, Eric. This coming year, especially with all the new ICD codes that are coming down the marketplace, and the Affordable Care Act, electronic medical records, all those things are causing doctors to reconsider and wanting to look at the outsourcing more carefully.
Patrick, before we move on, because I think this is a great question that's come in by Michelle concerning the market. First of all, she says, thank you for this webinar, but she goes in, for getting clients, what method is used to target potential clients in a specific area? Michelle, I mean, truly, you can almost throw a rock in your area, and if you hit a doctor, there is a potential client there. Now, it's hard to grasp what we're about to say here in this entire webinar today, but literally, Michelle, there are doctors that are going out of business because they cannot simply collect. And Patrick, it's all about revenue. It's just all about what we're doing.
Yeah, Michelle, we've actually done specific webinars on what we teach is specifically as to how to go out and market. So you might want to go to our blog at absystems.com and just check out all the different webinars that are recorded there for you to watch specifically on how to market. But let me cover the next point here, Eric. Not only some people fail because they have no market, some of them don't have any real income potential. Now, we know what our potential is, but rather than telling people, oh, you're going to make $100,000 a year in your first month, we tell them to go to our website and use what's called the income potential calculator that's right here on the website. And when you go there, you can actually fill in some numbers like the number of doctors that you'd like to have as clients. Now, we start out with one here. That's obviously got to have one, right? Or you're not in business. One doctor that sees 20 patients a day, 5 days a week. And we're saying that you're going to charge them 6%. That's on the low end, folks, of what you can charge, but we use this to be conservative. 6% of an average claim amount of $100. Now, folks, you can plug in your own numbers to see what you come up with, but in this particular case, look what we came up with right here. It's kind of tiny, but I'll put it up on the screen a little bit bigger here in this next slide. It's $2,600 a month revenue, or $31,200 annual revenue for one doctor.
One doctor. And on average, our licensees bill for anywhere from 4 to 6 doctors. That's pretty much the medium road where everybody goes. Now, however, there are certainly some licensees that have grown their business much larger than that. We're going to see some of their faces here in just a minute. But, for part-time work, Patrick, $31,000 income into a family in this economic time may be a huge help. And let's kind of draw this down to how much time this would actually take in a day. We're talking about 2 hours of billing a day at the most to get $2,600 a month.
It's only 20 claims a day, and we've got licensees who will claim that they can do a claim in our system in about a minute. So even if you triple that, it's not that much time that you would spend to earn this kind of money. That's why this is kind of one of those secret hidden businesses that people don't know about, because most people who do medical billing run it out of their home, just like we teach our licensees to do.
Well, it really, in the beginning, whenever people were doing medical billing, whenever there were those things called typewriters,
Oh, yeah, I remember
uh, it may have taken a little bit longer, but now with the systems and the web-based portal to be able to do that, literally, yeah, some licensees can get through that pretty doggone quickly.
All right, so let's find the next reason why people fail. No technology. I mean, they don't have the leading edge, cutting edge technology that we have. And of course, Eric, they don't have the clearinghouse that's built into the system like ours is. Some medical billers have to deal with clearinghouses, which are third-party companies that reformat the data for each one of the insurance companies and scrub the data clean. That's built into our system.
And it goes directly, it's literally like everybody probably thinks that, claims whenever they get billed, they go straight to the insurance companies. That's not the case, except with our platform. And so we're really dealing with real-time billing, which means real-time collecting of that cash flow back to that doctor. And instead of these doctors, and literally, Patrick, we don't make these numbers up. Some doctors, when they see that patient, it may be 60 days before they actually get paid on that. With utilizing our services with iClaim and the built-in clearinghouse, we can get down to 7 to 14 days, and in some cases, getting paid within 5 days.
Yeah, we've seen that happen. So, folks, not that doctors don't have some kind of technology, they just don't have the best technology that's out there that will allow them to collect, to maximize their revenue, let's put it that way. All right, that's because they don't have a cloud-based system either. As Eric mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, ours is cloud-based, which means you can access it from any device that has access to the internet, including your iPhone or any smartphone, tablets, iPads. That's all very leading edge, folks. The cloud is where it's at. And that's where all of our data is stored. It's all backed up nightly, of course. It's all HIPAA compliant, which means it has to be very secure. And Eric, I think this is the greatest part, is that people can work from anytime, anywhere, any time of the day or night.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, some people even ask, can they get this started doing it part-time? And absolutely you can. This gives you the flexibility to continue to keep working your 8 to 5 job if you need to, and then do the billing in the evening and get that thing started. We've had a lot of licensees that, again, we're going to talk about today, that have actually started part-time and moved from part-time to full-time.
Yeah, so the next reason why people fail in this business or in any business is no marketing support. Now, Eric mentioned earlier that we are the only company that we know of that provides live demos for you. Our technicians do the demos for your doctor while they're on a go-to meeting similar to what we're doing here today. You're watching it maybe from your computer in your home, and you see and hear everything that's said and done. In fact, we answer all the questions. And Eric, what is the closing rate so far on this?
For every 2 that we do, we're closing 1 of those. So we're at 50% or greater on most of these demos. And it's simply because we're actually showing the doctor in real time why they're not collecting, and then show them what they're able to collect. And that's the best thing. So we're able to communicate with, it's kind of demonstrated here where you may be at your house in your home office, the doctor is at his office, and then we're doing the demonstration of that. And literally, we keep hearing throughout the presentation, either, wow, I can't believe your system does that, or just simply, wow. We had a doctor in our class last week who, when we were doing this demonstration again, he was literally leaning over to our instructor going, does the system really do that?
Yeah, the rest of the members of the class were looking at his face because every feature that we bring up, he just couldn't believe that this could be done technologically, and yet there we were doing it. So it was funny.
Exactly.
See, there he is saying, wow.
Okay. There he is.
Here's another reason why people fail, folks. They don't have any marketing materials. That is, maybe they print their own brochures or flyers or letters or something like that, and they don't really have anything that's professionally designed. Folks, we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars developing the tools that our licensees use to go out and look professional in their market, and they are all tested so that they're proven. Even when we do the proposal, we have a special folder that we've designed that you can put your proposal inside of and deliver it to the doctor it looks like you are a $1 million company. So that's the great thing about our licensing fee. It covers all of this, and it's all included, and you'll never have to design any of that yourself.
And part of that marketing material are the trade show materials that we have. So for those that would like to do a trade show, to go out there and basically have doctors walk up to your booth and talk to you about the business, we have this big one here as we're showing here, and a tabletop one. So we can pretty much provide you whatever materials that you're going to need, whether you're doing a big show or a small show.
Yeah, we've got about 10 different ways that we teach in our live training workshop on how to go out and market. This is one of them that has been very successful for many, many licensees, because you're not approaching your prospects, they're coming to you, they're in the booth. Here's another reason why people don't they fail in business, and especially in our business. They don't have any live training. Now, folks, I can't emphasize how important it is that you be in a live workshop environment. Hands-on experience using laptops that we bring into the classroom, exercises that are done between you and other members of the class, live questions from other people that you might not even think of. This is so important, folks, that this is what we have packaged together, and one of the many reasons why our licensees are successful. They get to come through 40 hours of live training right there in our classrooms here in the Dallas area.
Yeah, and I tell you, a lot of people, Patrick asked, do I have to come to this live training? And although we don't force you to come here, we highly recommend it, because, again, you want to have everything you need to become as successful as you need to. And plus, we kind of talked a little bit earlier about coaching. We've got people on our advisory board that can help you with certain questions if you need it.
Yeah, we've got Terrence Patterson, who has an educational degree. He also has managed and been the administrator of a hospital. So he's very knowledgeable in healthcare matters. We have Sally Combest, who's an MD, a practicing MD, that's our senior medical advisor. And then we have Jeanette Weiler, who's a certified professional coder. So, folks, we have the professionals as part of our team that can coach you to success. That's why a lot of people fail. They don't know where to turn for answers to questions once they get out there on their own. We have the answers to those questions. Here's another reason people fail. They don't have any door openers. Now, folks, here's why that's important. Sometimes the doctor has the billing under control. I mean, at least they think they do in their own office, or maybe they've already outsourced it to some other medical biller. So they don't really have any need to talk to you about the billing. They think it's under control. That's why we've come up with 7 other services that you can go out with as ABS licensees to open the doors for you and get you in talking to the office manager and or the doctor, so that you can plant your foot inside that practice and offer them some other solutions to other cash flow challenges that they're facing. So unless you have these other door openers, you don't have anything else but medical billing to go out and talk to people about.
Yeah, because we like to use that one question that people so like to ask. Whenever they're brand new, they'll go up to a doctor's office and say, "Hey, do you need any medical billing?" And we already know what the answer is going to be.
Right.
So that's why
it'll be no every time, because, like we said, the doctors either have it under control in their own office, or they think they do, or they've already outsourced it to somebody else. So how is it that our licensees, Eric, are signing up doctors? Well, you saw the list that I showed this morning on the meeting.
Right.
That we have hundreds of licensees that have doctors that they're signing up on a regular basis. It's because we know how to get in the door and talk to the doctor about all of his cash flow challenges.
And I think one of the greatest things that we worked on here to really help our licensees is our ongoing support. And you can get in touch with us, again, certainly by email, but we also have a live chat, and then you can always just pick up the telephone and give us a call. And we're there to help you. Now, the nice thing about support, especially in the medical billing, there's not an actual crisis most of the time with medical billing. But if you do need help and you need to schedule some time, folks, we're here, from 9 a.m. Central Time to 6, 7, 8, sometimes that later. especially if you've got a demo that you need for us to do, because sometimes, Patrick, you and I both know that doctors, they can't always do a demo right in the middle of the day. So as long as you help work with us, we'll help get that scheduled like at 7 o'clock in the morning or even 7 or 8 o'clock at night. We're here to help you get those clients.
Yeah, and folks, our support, by the way, is probably one of the biggest reasons why you should invest with us rather than go out and try to recreate the wheel, so to speak, on your own in this business. It's because the ongoing support is very important. Things change in this industry on a regular basis. To keep up with that, we have a licensee website that you'll have access to that keeps you up on all the latest happenings in the medical world. If something big is coming down the pike, you'll learn about that on our LSS, we call it the licensee support site. And the support we give people, by the way, Eric, is lifetime support. That means once you become a licensee of ABS, you always can get support for us at no additional cost. Oh, now, so Eric, I just wanted to talk about that in-depth look that we promised people of looking at successful medical billing companies. So let me get that slide back up here. It'll take just a second. Here it comes. And hey, by the way, we have the success stories, folks. I mean, lots and lots of them. I'll show you how you can go out and actually listen to some of them live that have been, well, not live, they're recordings, but you can do that anytime, 24/7, by going out there to our blog. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's talk about some of these, Eric, just one by one here.
Yeah, we've got Wendy and Bob Bruno from Ohio, and I think she's even grown from these 7 clients. But I think one of the great things about her story is that she's basically in the middle of nowhere. People always ask about territories, and I love to hear Wendy's story. I think she told you one time whenever you were doing an interview with her, she goes, "Yeah, Patrick, I'm looking out the backside of my window here, and I see a cornfield."
Yeah, it's just amazing, some of the stories. We've got another couple we'll talk about here too, also, that on the top of a mountaintop in the middle of Tennessee. So folks, it doesn't matter how small the area is, there are always doctors out there and medical providers of other sorts that need help. Believe me, when it comes to having a need in the marketplace, we know what that need is. It's money. They need more of it, and the cash flow is a serious problem for most of them. Okay, so let's move on here to Sharice Moreland, and this is her little girl, Mia, that you see there in the picture with her. She's out in California. She says she paid off her investment with us within 6 months, and she works from her home. So, folks, this is the nice thing about this business. You can keep this as small as you need it to be to fit your lifestyle. And you'll see as we talk about some other licensees, you can make it as big as you want to, too.
I think you've got the Catanos coming up here. This is a great family story. I love this because they literally have both of their boys work in the business.
Yeah, unfortunately, they can't afford a camera that has a good focus. I think this is an old family picture. I think the boys are a little older than that now. But the point is, this is what they sent us. And I think it's a great picture because it does illustrate that it is a family business. We love the fact that we've helped families stay together, the moms stay at home, freeing up the dad at some point. Some dads quit their regular jobs and go in and help the mom build this business even bigger. So they're billing for 7 practices right now, making a 6-figure income. You can listen to their interview out there, and you'll see they're still working from home. You don't have to have an office. Eric, we haven't talked much about that, but not many of our licensees really go out and rent commercial office space, do they?
No, I mean, because if you think about it, it's just another piece of overhead that you don't have to incur. However, there are folks like Janet Malinowski who, as you can see here, she's billing for 23 practices. Now, those practices have multiple doctors in them. So she may be doing billing for 40 or 50 doctors. If you think about it, if it's just 2 doctors in each practice, that's nearly 50 doctors to do from billing for. So, yeah, she's actually rented a commercial office space. She's got a great business, very thriving business, and
I was actually in Ohio for some business at one point and called her up and said, "Can I come by and see your office?" And I actually took that picture that you see right there of her staff. It's a wonderful office situation that she's got. She drags in there about 10:30 each morning, leaves about 3:30 or 4. She's got some grandchildren, kind of like you and I do, Eric, and so she wants to be at home with them. But guys, she's got 7 full-time employees. So again, you make this as big or as small as you want the business to be. Here's
Now,
Terrence
wait,
Patterson.
Patrick, I was going to go back to Janet real quickly.
Yeah.
You said that she's in Ohio. Isn't
Yep.
Wendy in Ohio as
Yes.
well? I mean, what
Yeah.
about these territories?
Oh, yeah. People ask about territories. Folks, we actually have several licensees, probably in every state that there is out there. And we've never heard from any of the licensees that they've run across another licensee. The reason for that is there are so many medical providers that need help. Like here in the Dallas area, I think there's like 30,000 medical providers, Eric. And none of our licensees here say that they run across one another because they only need a handful, as you saw from the income example earlier, to make a pretty decent income. You don't have to have 45 or 50 doctors.
Exactly. So I just wanted to point that out. I saw that there as we were kind of going through that. So
Yeah. Oh, and then Terrence Patterson that I mentioned earlier, he also has commercial office space up there in Massachusetts. He has 2 staff members and he bills for 6 providers. Now, guys, the reason he opened an office is because he has plans on being much, much larger. He actually found a partner, Eric, recently, brought that guy into the business, and they're both out there building this business. They've already got clients now in other states, so I'm sure it's more than 6 providers now. But
hey, I want to, before you move on from Terrence, you know that last Friday I actually did one of his demos for his podiatry doctor, and the doctor was just blown away. And so it's great to know that the people that you're showing here on the screen that have been around for some time are still using us to do the demos for them. They really see that as a real powerful tool. It's not that they can't do their own demos. That third party person in there doing that demo it's powerful.
Yeah,
To be able to do that.
it positions you as a business owner that you have other people. You can say, I'm going to have my IT guy do the demo for us, and I'll be on there to answer questions. It just makes you look much bigger than you really are when you have somebody else do that demo.
Yeah.
Here's Jill and Terry Datsko. They're up in Michigan. They have 3 practices that they bill for and dozens of other clients that are not medical clients. Now, Eric, you might explain just a little bit about why they have clients that are not medical.
Well, I mean, they could be, with our other services that we have, which it could be helping people collect their accounts receivables, but more likely, I think Jill and Terry are utilizing the document management portion of everything, of actually growing their clients, because the document management could actually be used by dozens of different types of companies outside of the medical field.
Yeah, any company that has lots of paperwork. Folks, remember, we have a whole series of services that you can offer to the doctor. That's just one of them, and you should go out there on our website and read more about that, called iDocs Now. Anyway, they work from home, of course. Both of them are earning a full-time income. So, folks, all of these people that I'm showing you, I've done interviews with them. That's how we got this information from them, because this is not a franchise. They don't have to report anything to us, but they willingly share this information with us to help us know what they've done and how successful they've been. And we share that with our licensees, of course, on a regular basis as well. They're all still in business with us as well. Dean is out in Florida. He has a 3,000 square foot office, 22 employees, and he does $5 million in billing annually. So again, how big do you want this to be? How big are your? Yeah, how big is your thinking? Where's your ceiling on your income? Okay, let's see. Here's Benny and Patricia Biori. By the way, I've been out there to Florida visiting Dean. I've also visited Benny and Patricia. They're up in New York, and I took this picture as well. I guess I didn't have a very good camera back then either. That was 3 or 4 years ago. He has commercial office space, 15 doctors, and a staff of 4 full-time employees. His wife's not in the picture there because she is at home with the 4 children.
You know what's interesting about Benny is that he's been around with us for 7, 8 years, I believe now, and I think it was either at the beginning of this year or maybe just here recent. I can't remember when he came in, but he actually came back through training because he wanted to see even for some of the things that we had going on.
Eric, is it raining in your area? You're cutting out really bad.
Oh, it might be. How's that?
I don't know if that's weather or not, but if you've got anything else maybe running, you might shut some stuff down there. Am I coming through okay?
Yes.
Okay.
You're fine.
Hey, I don't see a whole lot of questions coming in here now, folks. This time is your time, and we do want to hear from you. If you've got a question specifically you want to ask about the business, just ask it away, and we'll address them here as they come in. Otherwise, we're going to go right on to the next success snapshot. This is Cash and Jatika. They're here in Texas. They have 3 offices in 3 cities, 18 employees, and they do billing for over 50 providers. So again, folks, we're trying to show you a whole gamut of people, from smaller people still working out of their home that have a handful, to folks like these folks that have a large number of clients that are out there. And here's an example of a couple that's working out of their home up in Montana, which is like the middle of nowhere, right? Don and Janet Calkins. They have 9 practices they're doing the billing for. Both of them are full time, and they both work from home. So again, folks, it's a family business. It's wonderful when you can learn how to work with your spouse and or children or other relatives and not kill them.
Hey, I just went ahead and dialed in, Patrick, so I just wanted to make sure my bandwidth was okay there.
Oh, good. Much better. Thank you, Eric. All right, Steve and Beverly Ryder are up in Pennsylvania. They have 3 providers. Beverly's doing it full time. Steve has a good paying job. He says he makes a 6-figure income, so he likes his job, but he says, I'll be quitting soon because they're adding a 4th practice that has 14 providers. Now, folks, let me define that so you understand. We use the term providers because there are other medical providers that provide medical services other than doctors, MDs. And so these could be all kinds of durable medical equipment companies, ambulance services, all kinds of different people that are out there. But we use that term because there's 14, in this case, doctors in that one medical practice. So it's a big group.
Yeah, and that's what I love. And Patrick, I just shot my video off there because I think it was looking a little distorted there. We are under a little bit of rain here, finally, here in Texas. That's great.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you brought that out about the different providers, because I think we kind of get locked in on thinking that we just can do billing for family practitioners or anything like that. I mean, folks, you can do literally billing for sleep centers, for all the different types of specialties, whether it's chiropractic. I think, Patrick, you got some people that we're going to talk about. They're doing a lot of billing for chiropractic. So there's just tons of different types of specialties out there that you can do billing for. Podiatrist, like I mentioned earlier. So, yeah, you're just across the board. I do want to make this little caveat here, though. People do ask about dental. Do we do dental billing? And dental billing and medical billing are 2 separate things here. So, but the medical field's wide open.
Yeah, the dental field is a little more restricted. It's not near the market that the medical are. So what I tell people is, yes, we can hook you up with web-based dental billing systems, but folks, that's not where you're going to make your money. Not that many people have dental insurance. Not that many people like to go to the dentist unless they just absolutely have to. And so the dentists don't see near as many patients either. So once you've signed up all the doctors in your area, let us know about that, and we'll get you going on dental billing as well. All right, here's Lou McKendall out in Arizona. He has 5 providers, still works out of his home, has 2 employees. And you know what? The great story is that he had retired from the automobile business when he got in our business about 5 years ago, and told me that, Patrick, he says, I don't really want to make this too big because I like to just think of myself as retired. I want to do a lot of golfing, and I just want to make enough money to pay for my golfing fees so my wife doesn't complain about that. So he does.
This is a lovely story here about Renee Hermes.
Yeah, came over here from where does he say he's from?
Across the pond somewhere.
Yeah, across the pond somewhere. Didn't know anybody in Chicago, nobody, and came down to our training, decided this was the business he wanted to be in because he saw the residual income of it and the potential, and went through training in January of 2011. Now he does $6 million in billing each year, has commercial office space, and of course 3 staff members. So, Eric, aren't these great stories? And you know what? The great thing is, folks, that you can talk to some of these people. Some of these people have given us permission to put them on a list of references. And so if you want to talk to live references, you can. You can go visit Renee. He's let people come to his offices there and give them a tour and spent time with them. So if you want to find out if this is for real, talk to some of our these people that we're talking to you about on this webinar, folks, are all real people that are doing this business and can tell you the facts about it. Hey, Eric and I could tell you anything, and you don't know whether it's true or not. You don't know how to verify it, maybe. But these are people who've been through the training, and they're out there experiencing our support, and they're actually building their businesses.
Yeah, and these were people that were on webinars just like you. So feel free to contact these folks.
Oh, and I haven't been mentioning this. I think I said it in a couple of blurbs here on these slides, Eric, but I don't know of many people that had any medical background at all out of all the people we've talked about.
No, not going to think of so far.
No. Tierney Martins, for example, was completely in a completely different field, had nothing to do with medical. Now she has a commercial office with 5 employees, and she bills for 25 doctors. Eric, should we tell people that she actually bought her own commercial office building after, I think, 3 years in this business? Yeah.
Yeah, she actually bought the entire building, and now not only is she running a medical billing company, she's also now a landlord of a building that she's actually renting space out to other folks. So
and that pays for her building, all those payments from her.
You talk about an incredible story. I mean, this gal, when she came to us, she was just looking for something to do at home to help sustain their family out there in California, and because of the downturn of the construction that happened out there with her husband, and it's just amazing what she's been able to do with this business.
Here's Nadia Siddiqui. She's in Missouri, and she does billing for 11 practices with 3 employees doing the work, and she also has commercial office space. You can actually see the sign right behind her there. That's the door of her business there. So, Eric, I love these stories because look at all the variety of people from different nationalities, different age brackets, different backgrounds. All of this, to me, is just amazing that people can take from zero. We take people from zero knowledge on this business to running these kinds of successful businesses.
And Brent Pagnotta came to us a few years back. I think he was working for, I forgot who he was working for, like Auto Trader or something like that at one point. And he just says, I've had enough of that business. And I remember Brent because he was very skeptical about this business. He attended a lot of different webinars, but my goodness, has he done great and just he works from his home. He's loving what he's doing.
Yeah, that's a Skype that I did with Brent one time, and I took that screenshot of him sitting there as we were talking. That is his office that you're actually seeing him sit in there, and it's a big room in his home that he had built, and then he has space over on the other side for the full-time lady there that does actually all the work. He just sits over there and kind of manages the business and supervises it. Here's Jody and Mark Guthrie. We did an interview with them just a little while back. They have 6 practices. Both of them are full-time. They have 3 employees, and they work from home. And their new practice that they just signed up recently is opening 5 new clinics. So they may be having to expand here soon. Isn't that sad?
Exactly. What I like about all this is that we've talked about people from coast to coast, from Florida to California, to Mississippi, to Tennessee, Ohio, and really these people are coming from all walks of life, and a lot of them from very small communities. And there's only a handful, I think, that really are in big metropolitan areas.
Yeah, I mean, here's the couple that I mentioned earlier that lives on the top of a mountain. I think it's literally Mountain City, Tennessee, and they're both full-time, and they love that they're able to spend time with their 2 children. Get this. Eric, you know this story, but Brad was in construction. One day he came home tired, sweaty. He plopped down on the couch, and his wife said, "Honey, why don't you just quit that job?" Now, this was after she had been in the business for about 2 years. And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" She said, "Well, I'm making enough money now in my business that I can support you." This is one of those couples that have separate bank accounts, I guess, so he didn't know what kind of money she was bringing in. And so he came down to training 2 years after she came through training, went through the training himself, and now they both work in the business full-time. Here's Tracy. I just got a note from her the other day, Eric, just saying how she was doing terrific and she wished us happy holidays, blah, blah, blah. But she has done terrific out there. Now, get this. Her first client was a sleep center. You mentioned that earlier, Eric.
Yeah.
That was within 4 months of her graduating from training here because she had some other stuff going on. But anyway, she got that client and she's billing 300,000 per month at 5.5%. What is that for her? I don't know. It's a
That's
bump.
good money.
It's good money, yeah. So we're very proud of Tracy, and she's just done all that on her own. Yeah, single mom. Oh, Benjamin Ishkov. Can't have a webinar without talking about Benjamin. A Russian immigrant came here 12 years ago, didn't speak a word of English. He got a degree in law, met a fellow at his synagogue, Ari is his name, his partner, and he wanted to start a medical billing business. Well, they tried to buy an existing one, but somebody outbid them. So they had to get on the internet, and they did, and they found us. And so they came down here without any knowledge of this business at all. Now they have 2 offices in Manhattan, 30 employees, and they do billing for over 200 practices. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those rare occasions where we see people that go from, Kentucky to Manhattan, New York. And so folks, again, that's the great thing about this particular business is it really doesn't matter where you are. And here's this group from Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa. Think about that. That is kind of the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
4 clients. Scott still works a full-time job, but that's because he loves what he does. Carol does all the billing, and Scott continues to nurture their current clients and to look for new ones. The great thing is, guys, again, this can fit your lifestyle. Whatever seems to fit your lifestyle, that's what you want to do with this business. Let's see. Here's Scott Mathewson. I remember doing this interview with him. That's when he was graduating, that picture there with me. He was working full-time job, and he signed up his first doctor within the first 60 days. He's billing $90,000 a month for that doctor at 8.5%. And get this, Eric, he got a setup fee of $8,500. Now, folks, that may not mean a whole lot to you, but about $8,000 of that was net profit on that setup fee too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Here's Steve Hignett up in Pennsylvania. He quit his 6-figure job. I think he was a pharma rep. I think
he was a pharmaceutical rep and finally was able to step away from that as well.
Yep. And get this, he signed up 13 doctors in the first 60 days. So folks, some licensees go right out of our training, get their first client within the first 30 days. Others, it takes 60, 90 days. Guys, it doesn't really matter because the potential in this business is so huge for month after month after month residual income that all you want to do is just get that first client. It doesn't really matter how long it takes you to get that client. And then there's James Thomas. Talk about getting a client. He had a doctor signed up before we came to our live training workshop.
What's interesting about this is, he is a doctor, and so we're getting folks from all different lifestyles. I mean, this is probably one of the first ones that actually had some any background in medicine that we've said so far. But this is awesome to see that we can take people. I mean, you talked about people from just being basically some stay-at-home moms, some single moms. We've had folks that have come from the construction world, from the IT world, from banking to real estate. And I think one of the big questions, Patrick, that I think everybody certainly is maybe thinking even about on the webinar today is about, do I have to have a background in marketing? So when we talk about, do you have to know medicine? That's one aspect of it, but you don't have to even have a background in marketing either.
Eric, sorry, somebody's coming to my house without setting the alarm off. I don't know if you can hear that or not. But
yes, we can.
I need to go change that, okay? So I'm going to go.
Very good. Well, listen, I'll keep going over here while Patrick's doing that, because we do have several more people we certainly want to walk through here. Bob Wilkie is out of Washington. We just recently did an interview with him on a webinar just a while back, a few weeks ago. So certainly, I mean, here again, he signed up 3 doctors in his first 3 months. Folks, let me say this about getting your clients. People ask, Patrick, how quickly can I get a client? And we like to say anywhere from 60 to 90 days, and it's because this is a relationship type business, and sometimes you just need to go out there and build the relationship before you actually get the business.
Yeah, it is a relationship building a thing for a lot of people. And a lot of folks like Bob just go right out. Within the first 3 months, he had 3 doctors signed up. Now he has 7. And he has clients on several of our other services as well. So, folks, don't forget the fact that we don't have just medical billing. We have several other solutions for not just doctors, but other types of businesses as well. And all right, here's Juliana Madsen in Georgia. Oh, we got a few questions coming in, Eric. Why don't you jump in there with those whenever I get through with Juliana here? She completed her training back in 2009. So what is that? 9, 10? That's 5 years ago, right?
Right.
She has a pediatrician, one OBGYN, 2 family practices, 2 durable medical equipment companies. And folks, again, that may be all she ever signs up. She is thrilled with what she's got because she's making probably a 6-figure income, or at least a nice executive income with those.
Yeah,
So
she was an executive with Turner Broadcasting Network, and so she's replaced her executive income.
yeah, that's right. I don't know where people get these bad pictures that they sent her. She sent that to us because I think Juliana's husband. I may be getting her mixed up. Anyway, I think she didn't actually come to the training, so we didn't have a training picture, so she sent this one here. Okay. Somebody's asking about a calendar there, Michelle, the calendar for the training in 2015. We actually don't give out dates of our training too far ahead. Michelle, we will tell you what the next one is coming up in January. And if you can't make that, then we probably have February already booked with a hotel, but we don't book those too far ahead because we don't know exactly when we're going to fill those classes up. So that's why it's important that you get booked for one as quickly as you can. Here's Thomas Chu in California. He completed his training in 2010. Anyway, he signed up 4 doctors in the first 8 weeks, and I brought him down and gave him a little award there. That's a gold coin, if you're wondering what that is. Just as congratulations for signing up 4 doctors in the first 8 weeks. He was one of the first people to do that. Here's
Sally is on our board, as you said earlier, and she's a medical doctor as well.
Yeah, and she says, basically, Patrick, I wanted to get out of the clinical side of medicine into the business side where the money was. So that's the billing side. Chris McGahee in Arkansas, he and his wife Leslie bill for 7 providers and work from their home. Now, folks, I'm going through these pretty quickly because we got several more here we want to cover, but we don't want to push you. This is time to ask questions, and as they come up here, Eric's going to jump in here and ask me those questions.
Yeah, matter of fact, Sol, I think you said you can't hear anything, so hopefully you're hearing us now. So hopefully everybody's hearing us, and as we keep going, so please respond there so we make sure that we're coming through.
Sounds like a personal problem. Might need to replace your batteries in your hearing aid. Okay.
All right. So Tim Warren's out of Alabama, and I think he and his wife was. She was working for Coca-Cola, I believe, and then she quit her job here shortly, right after he got started.
Yeah. Here's Carla Rich and Amy Connolly. Hey, Amy's the one that I read the little blurb from her email this morning, Eric, telling us where they had gotten to. So this is all out of date here. Well, we didn't really give it the number of clients they have, but I think she said they have like 8 now. They completed training in September of 2012. Both of these ladies are single moms. They live real close to one another, so they actually use their homes for an office, and they'll go to one home one day and then the next home the next day. Anyway, it's a wonderful success story because these ladies are really building a huge business for them and their families. And she says soon we'll be making more than our husbands are.
All right. Then you got Paul St. Pierre again, another gentleman out of Washington State. There we go.
Yeah, Washington State. Completed training in 2013. He was a financial advisor for 8 years, but of course he had no medical background. Now he works full-time in the business and does billing for 6 clients. Dawn Desjardins is up in Michigan also. She's completed training back in 2013. No medical background for her either, but she worked in the insurance industry for over 20 years. She now does billing for 7 providers and works from home full-time in her business. Let's see. Michelle is asking, so encouraging hearing about the single mom. Can you share her name again? I think she's referring back to Tracy Clark, I think. Yeah. But actually, several of these ladies are single moms. It's a very great business for a mom who wants to stay at home with their children. Ken Schlinker and Phil Hodge are out in California. Ken was a hospital administrator who saw the need and the money that was in this business, and he decided to get into medical billing for doctors. Phil was the CEO of a medical staffing company, and they both work full time in the business. You know, I think I had a picture of them earlier, didn't I? I duplicated this somehow.
I think you did. That one's a duplicate there. So let's go to Laura and Brian Dean. Again, another group of licensees out of Ohio.
Imagine that. There's enough business in Ohio for these people to all run a successful, profitable business. Laura was an occupational therapist. She knew nothing about billing. Brian was a corporate attorney and wanted to start his own business, so he came to training in January of 2013. They're billing for 11 providers. This is the couple I was thinking of, not the other lady. This is the one that Brian came to training. In fact, that's a picture of me. I'm standing beside you. You can see my shoulder. And then she sent that picture of her.
Yep, I remember that one. Now, this is a great story because you just got through doing a little coaching, a little training for Orlando here. So let's talk about this one because this is one of the last ones we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, I had a call with Orlando yesterday that was just a great call overall. And he told me a little bit that I thought it would be interesting if you guys got to hear a little clip from what he said. So let me just play that and see if my mic will pick it up here. I'll turn up the volume here.
I met this doctor, his aunt. She's a psychiatrist. The administrator over at a hospital referred her to me because she came out of retirement. She's 75 years old. So we started working with her, and she was doing part-time over at the hospital. And we did a little research, and we found out that her husband, he's the top doctor in urology over at County Hospital, which is a really prestigious position. She said, I want to invite you guys to family dinner. Now, she's an Asian doctor, and her husband, I believe, is Irish. So she invited us to the House of Fortune over in Chinatown, which is, our version of Chinatown, Chicago. She sat us in a room with her family, and about 11 of the people in that room were doctors. It was a family of doctors.
Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Wow.
And Patrick's sister is coming out of medical school, so she's graduating soon. So we're hoping that we're going to be this family's medical builder. And we were like, wow. My wife, of course, does acupuncture, sees her every Wednesday. They're becoming fast friends. And it's just like, okay, this is pretty good. That's real good.
Oh, hey, hold on.
Okay, there you go. And so now you actually got to hear from a recent interview that Patrick just did as of yesterday of how we're helping folks get their clients and how this guy got invited to another doctor's house where there were 11 other doctors there. So it's amazing how successful and how quickly you can get this type of business.
Yeah, so Eric, we're going to wrap up here with a quote here from somebody who is very successful. Everybody's probably heard of Mark Cuban. He's on that show on TV called The Shark Tank. He's also the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Here's what he says. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. You only have to be right one time. Then everybody can call you an overnight success and tell you how lucky you are.
Exactly. And that's what probably everybody is talking about here, how lucky these people are. And I can't believe, how did they, and you're just trying to look for, that secret way of getting this type of business. And, folks, it's just, we've got the ways, we've got the support, we've got the mechanisms for you to be able to do that. Patrick, let's kind of wrap this thing up. We have blown through this hour already. So let's,
I wanted to give people the ability to go out and actually listen to some of these people, the interview that we've done with them. Some of them are 45 minutes or an hour long. And you can find those on our blog, absystems.com/blog. We'll get you there. And just scroll down the page and you'll see a bunch of them. Then when you get to the bottom, be sure and pick, I think it's called older articles. It will go to the previous page and then continue to do that. And you'll see there's dozens and dozens of these things that we've done over the past 3 or 4 years.
Matter of fact, that kind of goes along with the question that French is asking: is that when are we going to do a webinar on the changes occurring in in October of 2015. We actually did, that was the webinar topic we did last week. So friends, go out there and go to that blog area and go download the webinar that we just did. And matter of fact, as you saw there in the very beginning, Patrick wrote an article in BC Magazine talking about the changes that are coming up. So be sure to go out there and go check that out. Now let's talk about one of the very unique things about American Business Systems, and that's our money-back guarantee, Patrick.
Yeah, this is exactly how we word this, folks, in our agreement with you. If at any time during the training workshop, for any reason you don't think this business is right for you, simply tell any staff member and we will arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. Folks, there's no weasel words in that guarantee. It reads just exactly the way you see it right there, and we're pretty sure of what we got, or of course we couldn't do that in state.